Let me welcome you to the Smokebox. Windows up, couple in rotation. Hot boxed out about 3 or 4 faces.
Welcome to another edition of the Smokebox for BREALTV. I am Dr. Greenthumb, aka BREAL, here with my man Joe Schilling. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing really well.
Good to have you in the box.
Man, it's good to be in the box.
You know, we got your joint here. It's rolled on a funky
shit.
fill tip. We're smoking some perps. I mean, I don't know what they're calling it. It look purple, but it's from my friend's Treehouse Genetics. Thank you very much for this. They're on funky fill tips, as you must know. And like, if you're into like MMA and the art of fighting, you know, period, then you should know this man right here. And if you don't know this man is a 3-time kickboxing world champion. He is the face of kickboxing, and man, you're just climbing up the fucking ladder, kicking ass, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
You know, you're actually the first fighter I've had in the box. You know what I mean?
For real?
Yeah, because, you know,
what?
like, I've had other athletes in here. I've had some basketball players and obviously, you know, rappers and people of different, you know, entertainment background. But you're the first fighter in here, man. So that's cool. And I think a lot of people, you know, the fact that the ban, the marijuana coming off the ban list in the boxing commission was a big deal for a lot of people who are a fan of the fighters who actually are known to be advocates of the weed.
Yeah, man, it's a really exciting time right now. You know, just whether it comes off completely or whatever, any movement toward it getting better and getting rid of the stigma, you know,
Right.
that goes along with it is helpful. But yeah, man, you look at some of the fines that these guys are getting. Like Nick got suspended for like 5 years for getting caught smoking weed.
Right.
They ended up kicking that down, but like the percentage of their purse, you know, like
Yeah.
when Chavez Jr.'s son failed a couple years back, it was like a percentage of his purse. It was like $600,000.
600. That's a big ass percentage
Dude,
of his purse.
Yeah,
right
I don't
there.
know how much his purse is, but that's a big ass amount of fucking money for
That's
something silly. And then the concept that it's not like it's a performance enhancing drug. It's their argument is not that you're going to be more dangerous.
Yeah.
It's not. The argument is we can't have people high getting hurt, and it's
Getting
our
hurt.
liability. You
Yeah.
know? I'm like, well, somebody could be drunk in there if they're that dumb to do it.
True that.
It's just silly.
Or they might have to take meds before the fight, because you never know who might have, like, let's just say any sort of condition
Right.
beforehand, but they can fight. You know what I mean? You know, like,
Yeah.
here, you keep that one. I'll take this one right here.
Right.
So let me ask you this, because I mean, I find it
I've seen how this shit goes. I'm putting my glasses on.
busted, dog. I was, you know, like I was gonna tell you, but you know,
No, that's cool.
no. I mean,
Okay.
you know, because most athletes now, they'll say that they'd rather take, you know, they'd rather smoke weed for whatever their ailment is than take the prescription drugs. You know, from, you know, pro wrestlers to fighters to football players to basketball players and so on and so forth. Even baseball players, they all are now endorsing that they'd rather take this as the their medicine. You know, how do you use it for you? Do you just use it for recreational purposes, or do you find the benefit, like after training, after a fight, that it fucking helps you heal faster?
Yeah, I think you know, I use it for. I mean, I think I started recreational because we didn't really know what it was.
Right,
you know?
of course,
And
yeah.
I think that the most part with all those athletes that are coming forward is they're just people that are in a position to get attention that are finally just fed up with it. You know,
Right.
it's not so much that they're, you know, advocates for it. They are advocates for it. Like, it's just silly, you know. But I haven't had any experiences I could put, like, you know, oh, this worked better for me than Advil. But
Yeah.
I would much rather live lifestyle-wise. You know, I train hard, I handle my business, then I go
Right.
home at night, and it helps me sleep, helps
Yeah.
me deal with the world, so to speak.
The
'Cause-
anxieties.
Oh, man, the anxiety in combat sports is through the roof. It's like if somebody said, in 30 days or 6 weeks, whatever it was, at such and such a time,
Right.
this dude's training every day to kill you. He was going to try to kill you and humiliate you and just ruin your legacy, your career, your family, everything you put food on the table for,
Yeah.
you know. And then try sleeping for 6 weeks
Try to
after
sleep.
that. You know?
Yeah, try to sleep.
So,
You're fucking training for how many hours a day?
Yeah, and a fight camp, it's at least like 5 or 6 hours.
5 or 6 fucking hours, and how many days a week? Like 5 days a week?
Oh yeah, 5-6 days a week. And then the amount of soreness you feel from a workout. People that work out every day, like, you get sore. Imagine doing it under that stressful position of anxiety.
Oh yeah.
Like now I'm waking up early to go run. This guy's trying to kill me. You know what I mean? So you're highly motivated.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be real sore and that kind of stuff. But I had some. Not so much for me personally. Like, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He ended up passing about 1.5 years ago. But
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But he wouldn't do chemotherapy, wouldn't do like any of the stuff. They had him on so many narcotics that you get
knocked it out of him.
Yeah, well, it knocks it out of him, and then like you say, you only get like a year left with your loved one or whatever. But they're so doped up on all of this.
It's not
bullshit
really a year.
Narcotics. Yeah,
it's not really the time they say, because they're pretty much going. They're in drug addict.
Yeah, and they don't even know it.
Yeah,
it sucks to say, but
they're dependent on those pharmaceuticals, and there's other options. That's the thing.
So what I started doing, I was shipping my brother. It was in Florida. Allegedly I was shipping him some trim or whatever, and he would cook up like the Rick Simpson's oil, and then we'd start giving it to my dad, and like his appetite came back, and like instead of telling them, because they would get on like this cycle where they're is it time for my Percocet yet? Is it time for my whatever? And it's like, oh yeah, here, Dad, and you give him a thing on his finger. This is their new whatever.
Yeah,
he's a little more chill. He's a little better. So like, when they first found out he had stage 4, it was like he had a mass on his neck. He had fucking lung cancer, had it in his brain, had it everywhere. And my brother started treating him with that stuff. And he even asked the doctor one day in like the cancer ward, he's like, with medical cannabis, is this like something we could do? And they were like, oh yeah, like right away, yeah, that's absolutely. They say that can help. So we can write you a prescription for Marinol, which is like their
little synthetic pill
their GMO version of it,
GMO shit, yeah.
But like, what was crazy about it was that he said, we just can't offer it to you. You have to ask for it. So there's people dying of cancer, and their family members are saying, what can we do? What can we do? And you have to ask specifically for Marinol, which I wouldn't do in California, but if you're in another part of the country state, and that's all you have, like cannabis, absolutely, there's millions of studies that show that it absolutely helps cure cancer, kill cancer, fight cancer.
Oh yeah,
make you feel better while you have cancer.
See, and that's what I'm saying. You have to ask your doctor for that. Right. Like pay attention to that, folks, because they're not going to tell you this, and the reason the doctors don't tell you that is because they're on the hook with the pharmaceutical companies. They can't be caught out there advertising or promoting or telling the patient or the client, if you will, hey, there's an option, because that does everything against what they want the doctor to do. They want you to push them fucking drugs to you. So if the doctor's telling you about Marinol, he's taking those dollars away from the pharmaceutical company and putting them in whoever owns Marinol.
They want to give you Percocet. They want to give you Dilaudid, Valium, all that shit.
So, ask your doctors. Ask, because they cannot tell you. They are under contract not to. Word up, man. So, all right, fight game.
All right.
You're in Bellator now, right?
Yeah, Bellator kickboxing.
Man, that's I've been following Bellator. I try to watch all, the fighting events, because, I appreciate the fighting, you know what I'm saying? How was it getting onto that stage?
For me, kickboxing is still, even now, like now it's catching on, which is great, but for a long time nobody really followed or like knew about kickboxing. Here in LA, I'm sure you've been to some of the local shows, but if you win, you were going to watch a Muay Thai fight. You didn't actually know any of the stars, because there was no TV covers, there was no magazines, there's no way to know. So when I was here, when I moved out here to LA and really started trying to push it, kickboxing, I got me and like a group of 4 or 5 of the other top American fighters that were also like kicking ass, and we made this little group and started, it's called Can't Stop Crazy, and we started promoting our own fights, putting like our own pre-fight interviews, all that shit, to really set ourselves apart from that. And then from that, I went from the small shows to Lion Fight, and I was like the main guy with Lion Fight, got them going. Now they have a TV deal. And then I went on to Glory, which is the pinnacle kickboxing promotion in the world.
Right.
And they were on Spike TV, and I was their middleweight champion. And then just this past year, I switched over to Bellator Kickboxing, which is also on Spike now. And they have, what's really good for kickboxing and that whole process of growing the sport to make it so it's not like we were kind of the stepchild to kickboxing or to boxing and MMA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with Bellator, they already have an MMA fan base that's really big. They're the main competitor to the UFC. And so they're putting on these dynamite events a couple times a year where it'll be 3 MMA fights in the cage, and then it comes over and there's a kickboxing right there to expose that to the fans. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I have seen that.
And so now they're doing. They started their own kickboxing promotion, so it's.
So you're gonna do both? You're gonna do the mixed and the kickboxing?
Yeah, I did it last year a little bit. I fought Melvin Manhoff, was the knockout of the year for Bellator that year, and then some ups and downs. I'm more of a kickboxer though, But the right matchup, I can put on a really fucking exciting fight with a guy that wants to stand. But if he's like, I don't want to stand with that guy, and he's trying to take me down, and then it becomes this. I'm trying to do my thing, he's trying to do his thing, and it's not really a fight. It's trying to incur, you know what I'm saying?
Those are the matchups that a lot of the promoters have to consider, right?
Right, yeah.
But sometimes they do that shit on purpose, or maybe and maybe sometimes they have to, because like when you're the best at one thing,
you want to be the best at what you're doing,
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But I think there's some exciting matchups for me that I would love to take the opportunity in MMA if they came my way. So.
Who was your favorite fighter coming up?
Oh man, I remember being when I was a little kid. I don't know how little I was, but man, it makes you feel old when you say shit like that. But I remember watching Mike Tyson fight Buster Douglas. I remember.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking, man. My heart.
Immediately fights,
That broke my heart right there, man. Because I was a big Mike Tyson fan, even after the loss, of course, but. That broke my heart because I know he could have beat that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He just didn't train. He didn't take him serious. He was going through a bunch of shit. Obviously, man, that's a big part of the fucking fight game. You got to be in the right mindset. Does shit like that ever come across where it's like the distraction takes you off your fucking shit?
Yeah, man. I think that's a constant battle, and I've always thought that the mental game is so much more important than people make it out to.
What would be the biggest distraction for you? What would be like the shit that you got to stay away from? Like the shit you tell your homies, hey, don't bring this around me while we're fight camping.
Not so much that. I just think my biggest problem is I don't know if I want to say my biggest problem on TV. The world's gonna know. But like for me, what I've had in the past is like you work really hard and you have some success, and then you get complacent. You start enjoying the success you have, and you lose that fire. And then you start going broke again, and that fire comes back or whatnot. So my balance is always like just trying to stay busy and trying to stay real productive between fights, after fights, and I think I'm on a good page right now. So everything's going,
I think that could be said like in any aspect of entertainment in industry. Like if you fucking get too comfortable, there's always like some new motherfuckers that ready to take the spot.
Quick. And when you're a number one and you're the number one,
they all coming for
they're
you
all
anyway.
coming for you, and you're that little bit that you lax or that whatever gotta get it back.
Word up. You thinking about doing like after your fighting career, like doing like your own promotions and shit like that again?
I think so. This year I think I'm gonna get more involved with Can't Stop Crazy. It started working, we started doing well, and we started selling t-shirts and hats and whatnot. But I think I'm gonna start pushing that and promoting a little more of that. I think maybe in the future, I wouldn't mind being a promoter or a manager. I think a manager would be good. And all the tricks, the shit they got.
You already know, you're experienced in the shit, and you already kind of like we're putting little promotions together. So it'd probably be a natural thing to evolve into. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're ready to do get in the fight game, you let me know. We'll start promoting.
Oh shit! I'm totally down, man. Kidding me? All right, so while we're in the box, this is always, it's a two-part last question. One, do you do you do dabs, do the concentrates, oils?
I'm not.
Crumble?
I'm not, as my boy Mikey at CHR told me the other night. I'm not really a big dabber. He tried to get me dabbing that night, and then I start coughing and dying. I like smoke. I like the process of
You
smoking
like the
weed.
flower.
Yeah, and I like the process of it. You know, like it's part of the enjoyment
communion.
of coming home, sitting down, rolling a joint, relaxing, taking in what happened that day.
Yeah, it's like a
whatnot,
meditative process.
But if I just do like this big electric contraption and now I'm just blown one shot and fucking just blown.
Smash the fuck out.
Yeah.
Some people like that quick shit.
Yeah, boy, Matt's he's all about it.
Yeah, for me, I'll do it every now and then. I'll do them every now and then, but not every day, all day, because you gotta function, man. And that shit is very heavy. Now, how about flower? What's your favorite flower you like to smoke? Indica, sativa, hybrid?
I was always into indica, like OG.
OG Kushes, then, huh?
That was like my shit all the time. And then my boy was like explaining to me like the difference between sativa and indica, and he was telling me, man, smoke sativa during the day, it gets you going. It's like, you know, and so like before I go for runs or do cardio, something like that, I'll do a sativa, and which I always smoke weed before I run or do anything I don't want to do. I'll smoke a joint before.
Yep.
You know, and it helps get me just in that mindset.
Get
so,
you to focus and...
Yeah, or not to focus, you know.
Yeah.
So like when that, especially when I'm out of shape, or you know, you woke up in the morning, you don't want to fucking run. You got there and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm at least gonna be high when I do this. And then while you're running now, like you kind of get lost thinking about the rest of the world instead of that voice in your head, sober, being like, fuck this run. You don't want to run. Fuck this. Let's go back. Let's quit.
It's not a fucking bad idea.
You know, but
know
like
what
with
I mean?
sativa, like it has worked, and like I usually drink a lot of energy drinks throughout the day. So like if I smoke like an OG blunt or whatever, and then I have to feel like I'm more comfortable, more
Gives you the balance.
yeah, like now I'm up again. But with sativa, I'm usually I drink less of them.
Yeah, usually I'll fucking have an espresso, man. That shit'll fucking zip you right back the fuck up real quick. Like, let me ask you this. This is truly the last question for the Smokebox. It popped in my head. I never really ask anybody this, but I get asked this a lot. How many joints, or what's the most joints you've smoked in a day? If you can remember. Or take like a...
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I would say like 15 probably.
That's a good number.
Usually probably 15.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
This man gets stoned, man. Make sure you fuck with Joe Schilling,
Yo.
but don't fuck with him because he'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? When's your next fight?
April 14th, fighting in Budapest for Bellator kickboxing, and it'll be shown on Spike TV.
Boom.
Boom.
Make sure you
Check
check
me
him
out.
out. Let them know your social network.
Oh, you can hit me on Instagram, Joe_Schilling, Twitter, Joe Schilling 187, and that's it.
There it is,
Yep.
man. Leave comments, subscribe to the channel.
Shout out to my sponsors, Monster, Can't Stop Crazy, and Los Angeles Kush. Appreciate you.
Don't fuck with me. I got friends that'll beat you up. Peace.
Let me welcome you to the Smokebox. Windows up, couple in rotation. Hot boxed out about 3 or 4 faces.